comes a time in every girl's life when she's really got to ask herself, sometimes to ask herself, is she ready to be going steady? I mean, do you want to be Johnny, but honestly, no, one man, honestly, going back. Well, first question, let's say the girl first come, let's see if it, one day Johnny asks if he can steady Johnny, decide to
3 important rules for breaking up.
Alright, ready? Alright, welcome back to Between the Lines with Pedro and Tiana.
And today we're going to talk about... What are we going to talk about today?
Well, this is episode 2, but
Yeah.
and
So it's going to
today,
be a little different.
yes, today we will be talking about our experiences together and apart, and then back together,
Like, what kind of experiences, though?
like paranormal, alienish, unexplainable, things that we've seen together.
Yes.
Yes, those type of things.
Things that people don't believe us.
Right.
But it's fine. So, I guess we'll go back to 1995,
Yes.
where we still lived in Montebello. I did. I'm pretty sure you still lived in Montebello.
Yes.
And this is a story that we hardly tell. I think we've told it probably like maybe 3 or 4 times in our whole life.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird. It's a weird story. When people hear it, I don't even know if they believe us or not, but we say it and we know it's true.
Mm-hmm.
What? Go.
It started in Montebello. I want to say, not to give away where the house happened, it happened in somewhere between, I guess you want to say, Olympic and Beverly.
Mm-hmm.
And between Bluff and Montebello Boulevard. Just to say at least one side of Montebello.
Yeah.
All right.
In that area.
In that
'Cause
area.
That's where I used to live.
Yeah.
Around the late 80s and early or mid 90s. That's where I used to live.
Right.
So.
You can continue.
Okay, so I guess so. Our experience starts when we were in my living room, and we were sitting down watching TV, and it was sports.
Football.
I believe it was sports, and we're in. I was on this side. I was on his. We should have sat like.
We can do it right now. We can do it right
No,
now.
it's fine. I was sitting on this side. He was sitting on this side. So I was sitting on his left, and he was on my right. And we're watching TV, and I had my dog right in the middle, and it was like a little terrier mix. And all of a sudden, I heard a noise on my left. It was kind of like a step, like a little step. It was lower than that. It was like a more of a toddler sound,
Mm-hmm.
step, like when they have their shoes and they step. It was kind of like that. And I turned around. I'll tell them my side and then you tell yours. I turned around and I saw a 2.5, 3, no more than 3 foot little troll. It was hairy. From the top of its head to on the bottom of its feet. It was very hairy. And I could tell you that I couldn't see the full body because it was like, kind of like the body was kind of hidden because it was in a doorway of my kitchen. So I would say a quarter of its body was hidden, its right side. And but it was hairy. I remember it was dark brown, hairy from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. And I just looked and I was like, what the heck is that? And my dog, her name was Fluffy, she started growling and she stood up and she ran after it. She went through the doorway into the kitchen because that's where my kitchen was. And we went and she ran right through the doorway, and then she made a quick left because that's how my kitchen went. You make a quick left and then you go straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I ran after the dog. I'm pretty sure I ran after the dog. I didn't really think twice if I was running after that thing, but pretty sure I was running after the dog. and I was expecting to see my dog scratching like if it was looking for like a mouse. So I expected to see my dog scratching around, smelling around that area. When I got where she was scratching on my back door, which was locked. So it was next to a laundry room, and she didn't go through there. She didn't do any. She was just straight to the door, and she was scratching. It was an old wooden door, and I checked, and it was locked. And she just kept scratching and scratching. I remember she was scratching and scratching, and there was no hose. So that's an experience that we had.
Yeah, like she said, the door was an old one, so you didn't even have the chain on there. Remember, it had the chain on there?
Oh, yeah. I had a golden chain.
So if it was open, we would have heard the whatever, you know. And just like she said, we were watching TV, and the TV was right here, and the kitchen was that way. And the minute the sound happened, all three of us were like, we looked towards the kitchen, and then even the dog were like stood up, and it ran that way. But the thing was, like we were talking that other day, like you said that almost like it acted like it got caught, right?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
Like if it was just walking and then you like, kind of like that. It was like it was
like
surprised.
It froze itself, huh?
Yeah, like it was surprised that it saw people there. So it stood still, and then the dog looked at it, and then we all looked at it, and then it just like it darted back, like it just ran boom towards the back door, and then the dog went after it, and then she went after the dog, and then I just stood by the couch because I wasn't going to go back.
You didn't want to go with me.
There's no need. There's no need. It's scary back there.
It was like around this time. What time is it right now? Like
it was
7 something.
Yeah, roughly 7ish. Yeah, before it got too dark, but the sun was down. But it was like summer. It was like a summer night, so it was like not too dark. Yeah, summer evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say night, like more evening.
Like early.
And then the way it looked like the honeycomb guy from the old cereals in the I guess the cereal's still around, but back then the mascot used to be like this troll looking hairy guy.
Yeah. With
his eyes all crazy, and he used to go, "Oh, honeycomb, I want honeycomb," and he used to run around. So it kind of looked like that, and it also kind of looked like the Captain Caveman. So it was all hairy in his eyes, and all you can see is either a nose or a snout with a dog, like a dog snout. So it was either like a snout like a dog or a big nose like Captain Caveman. But yeah, that was freaky. And then
well, it was freaky because we didn't it's not like Pedro just saw it and then he told me about it, or if I saw it. So we saw it together, and my dog saw it. So it wasn't like, I didn't even know at that point when I saw it. I didn't know if I thought it was an animal, because I wasn't really scared. But in the same time, it just didn't look like a domesticated animal, like a dog or a cat, or a big huge rat. It just looked like a little short hairy man.
Right.
That's what it looked like. It looked like a short, hairy, like a really hairy, bushy, 2.5 foot creature. Like, I guess they're called humanoids.
Humanoids? Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, like a humanoid, or demons, or
trolls,
gnomes, or this other word I can't pronounce.
What is it? Dundee?
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put up the description somewhere around here. Maybe right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I remember how to wait until your parents got home, and I was around 10, and I still had to walk home. And where I lived at was on Roosevelt, on the other side of the train tracks. So I still had to walk up your block, and then down the street, and then across the train tracks, and then back the other block, and then I'd be at my house.
In the dark.
In the dark. And I was freaked out because I was scared. I thought it was like, if it was a troll, I really thought I was gonna have to run all the way home. I thought it was gonna chase me and either eat me or take me somewhere.
And they drag you?
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna like slice my Achilles and like the little tendon on my feet and then boom, and I was just gonna run and I was gonna be able to run. I was gonna be crawling like. Ugh!
You imagined all that?
Yeah,
you
when
wrote a horror story.
Yes, and I was like, when I was walking home, and then, but I was trying to psych myself out because I was too scared. So I was like thinking, nah, man, it was nothing. It was just a dog tripping out, and then we're all tripping out. So we were all just crazy. So I was like, nah, we're just imagining things. But when I got home, I was for sure. I was like, nah, man, that thing was scary.
So you kept thinking about it when you were home?
Oh yeah, when I got home and I laid down, I was like, man, what was that? I said that was scary, and I'm like, I'm glad it didn't come and get me because I was ready to run. I would have jumped the fence over the train tracks.
Where'd you have gone?
I'd go home. I would have been screaming. I was like, help! I would make people come out the door so they can see me like get abducted or something. So they can say, oh, I saw him get abducted.
I think that house was haunted.
Oh, probably why? Why do you think that?
Because
What makes you think that?
because my mom told me, I don't want to get too much information out there, but the people that owned the property, they owned it, was kind of like related to somebody. Like they married into our family. So the person told my mom, she was like telling her like the stories of who lived there before us and stuff. And one of the stories I remember my mom telling me that there used to be brothers that lived in that house that were into like death rock or like some kind of like devil worshipping music, and I don't know if they were sacrificing chickens or anything like that.
Like chickens.
But I don't know how deep they were like into the like, the
practice,
but I know that was one thing that were thrown around, because I did tell my mom about this. I'm sure I told her when she got home or the next day, and my mom was like, it's probably a demon, and I was like, yeah, probably. But there was like other things that were happening in that house that I don't want to say, but it's a little weird. I feel like it's just way weirder than that story because it's a little more personal. But there was just I think maybe that's why, I don't know. That's what I think. But I did think about it after.
Oh, about those brothers?
No, I know about the little troll.
Oh, okay. Also, what did you think after I left? Were you scared or because you
because I told you. Remember, I told you not to leave.
Yeah,
because I guess it started getting darker, and it started getting a little more quieter, and I just got this little weird feeling. So I remember telling you, don't go home until my parents came.
Yeah. Because it was just you and your grandma at home.
Yeah.
You and your nana.
My grandma. So, yeah, that's one story that we only told like 3 or 4 times to people. And some people get fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And then some people just look at us like,
you guys are crazy,
right.
It didn't happen, and stuff like that.
You guys are just saying stories.
Yeah, you guys just want, I guess, what is it? You guys want attention or clout or whatever, but it's like, it's none of that because we don't even say it. We don't tell our story for those reasons. That's the reason we don't tell our stories. That's the reason why I don't say most of my stories, because I don't want people to think like, oh man, this guy's just seeking attention or whatever. But as far as that little guy, yeah, that was my first experience of seeing anything like that, and it creeped me out because I've never seen anything like that, like for sure.
Not even when you were little. Not
even when I was little, not at all. I never seen anything. I never heard a voice. I never seen anything move, or anything like that. But I've heard stories that from my mom that things happen, but I've never seen it myself. So that one was my first one. So, but I mean, the first of many. That was the first one of many with you.
Yeah.
And with your family, because of your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So let us know if you guys ever seen anything like that, like a troll or a gnome
or a little
alien little thingy, or a dundee, or anything, because we want to know. At least I want to know.
He wants to know.
I want to know what's going on. I want to know if you've seen anything, or
you talk to him about
or
it,
anybody, or anything like that. Because I want to know. So DM me. hit me up on the Instagram.
I just don't know. I wish I knew what it was.
Me too.
I really wish I knew what it was.
What would you do if you see it right now?
What do you mean?
Like I would ask you the questions like, why did you come and see us? Like,
You would conversate with it?
I mean,
I would pray. I would straight out be like, oh God, why am I seeing this?
at this point,
I would pray because I don't mess with that stuff. And I would just pray and just probably every house we lived in, not every single house, but every house lately for the past a few years that we've lived in, I pray before we move in because you never know what was going on in the house before you move there.
yeah. What's lurking
So,
behind the walls? Between
yeah.
the walls.
So I always pray, but just I've never seen that thing ever again. Ever since I seen that, I've never seen that particular whatever it is ever again.
Yeah, me neither.
And I pray I never do. So, well,
I think that was a good story. I mean, because it's rare and like I said, we don't tell it much. So hopefully you guys liked it. This will be one of many because this could be a.
this is a part 1.
There's a part 1 of the video. So one story will be now and then by next Friday, because you guys by the time you guys see it Friday, you'll see a week from there. A week from now we'll put out part 2, and now we have more stories.
You have more stories.
Yes. So
So thank you for tuning in.
yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and spread the word. Remember, this is the end of just part 1. So we'll see you next Friday.
Yes.
And we'll be part 2 continue. We'll pick up where we left off. All right. See you. Right? Like flashing fast. And then there's high, like pinching sound, like a high frequency. And we're like, ee, and that paralyzed me.